Well, today's gospel, my dear friends, is taken from Mark chapter 12, verses 38 to 44. You see, I don't know what kind of attitude do we have whenever we give. We all go to church, and then during the offertory time, the basket will be passed, and we are somehow not obliged, but we are asked to give. Now, what is your basic disposition when you give? You see, there are many things to consider whenever we give. For example, it is perhaps out of obligation. Secondly, perhaps it's out of charity, out of mercy. Third, most probably out of routine. And so sometimes you see some parish priests are complaining that they still, for example, receive 5 pesos in the basket. And when somebody was interviewed by the parish priest, he said he has been coming to church for the past 10 years. And the first time he gave to the collection basket was about 10 pesos. And that was 10 years ago. And even after 10 years, he's still giving 10 pesos. You see, nothing seems to change, you see. So most probably it's out of routine. But what is really there to giving? What is the real meaning of giving? This gospel will tell us about Jesus Christ sitting at the opposite of the treasury, and he was observing how the crowd put money into the treasury. Now, there are many rich people who put in large sums. Then came a poor widow who also came and put in 2 small coins worth a few cents. Calling his disciples, he said, "Amen, I say to you, this poor widow put in more than all the other contributors to the treasury. For they have all contributed from their surplus wealth. But she, from her poverty, has contributed all she had, her whole livelihood." So Jesus was praising the kind of giving by this widow because she, from her poverty, has contributed all she had, her whole livelihood. Now, Jesus was saying her whole livelihood. So what happens next? If this woman gave everything out, 2 last remaining cents that she had, she still gave it to the treasury or to the temple treasury. So what's next? How will she sustain her life? How will she sustain her next meal, for example, if she has given all her livelihood? Now, perhaps this is just a little bit of exaggeration. And in fact, I would not admonish you to do the same. No. But what Jesus is trying to point out here is the kind of giving that this woman had, and perhaps the kind of giving that we all of us should have. And this is the kind of giving that is full of trust in the Lord. You see, when you give, it is not out of something that comes out from you. It's not simply because you've got much and you give, or perhaps you have a little to give. No. The real meaning of giving, as Jesus points out in this beautiful gospel, is that there is more trusting in giving. Meaning, if you give out, for example, so much, and then tell to yourself, well, I'll just leave everything to the Lord. And that is a kind of trusting giving. It's a giving by faith. But it's not only giving by faith, but it's giving by trusting. Trusting God. Because the thing here is, what is next? She gave all her livelihood. So what's next? Now she puts everything into the hands of God. This is the so-called giving by trusting. I still remember a lady who went to a prayer meeting in Sampaloc, and the only money she got is, of course, a few cents. Really just enough for her to come back home. You see, for jeepney fare. Now, when the preacher started preaching and asked for giving, the only thing that she has left in her pocket was this. And so she gave out everything, and she said to herself, Lord, anyway, I'm not sick. Anyway, thank you, it's not raining. Got a good weather. So it's okay for me to walk. And that walk is not an ordinary walk. It's not short distance, but it's distant walking. So she gave everything. And when the moment she came out of the church, after the prayer meeting, a few steps away from the church, a car stopped by, opened down, rolled down the window, peeped out of the window and said, Auntie. You see, the guy was a driver for a rich woman, and he was about to fetch the woman somewhere near their place. And so this nephew of hers says, come on in, I'll bring you home. And the woman was simply amazed and so happy. You see, instead of a jeepney, she had an air-conditioned car on her way back. You see, God is so good, isn't it? This is the kind of trusting and giving. So this is a great challenge for you, my dear friends. A great challenge for all of us. What kind of giving do we have? We shall now give